All right, gang, we should be live on all the places as usual. It's good to be back in the studio here. Obviously, with the holidays, we take a little bit of time off and everything. Yep, it looks like we're good. It's going to be loud here a second. All right, there we go. We are on Facebook. There we go. I like it. Okay. Let's go here. So, with this being the first podcast of 2022, still feels weird saying that like it does every year, I wanted to do kind of a quick Out Fast Realty year-in review chat. Because if you guys have been following us at all, we had some pretty massive growth this past year in agent count and deal count. And I want to talk to you a little bit about how that happened, why it happened, and maybe some of the other plans we have going on here as well. So, in late 2019, we decided to finally make the recruitment push. Pretty much every agent that had ever come on board with us had met us through the Tampa Bay Real Estate Investors Association, knew us personally from doing deals over the years with agents, and we never did what most brokerages do and do a huge outbound agent recruitment push. And so because we feel like we have a pretty cool offer here at Out Fast Realty and Investments, because not only do we do the traditional real estate, the pretty houses, if you will, we also do the fixer-uppers and do the rental properties. We have the property management division for investors who either buy from us or through us, or again through our networking. And I actually have had a couple agents join from being owners of their own properties that happen to have a license. And so we have the hard money lending aspect for our agents who want to fix and flip. And we have some other cool things that we're doing this year as well. More announcements will actually be coming next week on some other things that we're doing. So like I said, we started making the actual agent recruitment push, and we went from literally roughly about 19 agents in 2019, and in 2020 by the end of 2020, we had a rough plan about 35, and then we made a huge push in 2021, and we added right around 50 agents in 1 year. And again, that was the first time we ever really turned on the marketing. People started hearing us. We were really more active on social media and consistent with our marketing, consistent with our outreach and our social media presence, and featuring our agents and bringing on really great agents that bought into our culture and what we're trying to do here, and trying to get agents out of the everyday sales process and learn to be investors so that they can generate financial freedom over a long period of time instead of having to always have to close deals, even though we are the deal makers, to consistently make income. So I want to kind of go over some of our final numbers for the year on the amount of sales that we did as a group. Again, these numbers are amazing numbers for what we've done. I'm not going to compare us to anybody else, and you might want to compare us to everybody else. But again, we just started this process, and we have a lot of new agents who have joined us over the year, and so these numbers will look even better next year. But what I want to talk to you guys about is the growth, not necessarily the number, right? And so to give you some perspective on here, we have two different offices. Actually, we have the Tampa office, which is our main office here, and we have an office technically over in the Pinellas County area as well. But we actually don't really work out of that office at all. It's just really over there for a different purpose. But between the two offices, we did $92.7 million in sales. So that means we sold $92.7 million in real estate in 2021. Okay, that's freaking awesome. It is crazy how much bigger that was than the year before. Okay, and then I want to talk to you about the deals that we did. In total, by doing $92 million in sales, essentially, that actually rounded out to be 296 sales of properties. So that means we helped 296 families on that side, and I'm not going to include the leases that we did through the brokerage as well, but that added like another 130 leases that we did as a group. So, but I'm just going to talk about the sales and what's important for people to understand in this whole numbers thing. And it's not about the bottom line. While that's a bottom line thing, we're in a bottom line business in real estate. The cool thing is that the growth is what matters most to me. And in between the Tampa office, we saw a growth in sales. We did $75.1 million in this office here, of a growth of 154%. That's the number that I focus on, because you can't control the prices of the houses that they're sold for. Everybody out there sold more dollar amount necessarily they did. And so I'm going to show you the transaction side too, because I don't really care. That's a nice number to have, the 154 on the sales, but prices went up quite a bit too in the last 12 months or more. The other office, we did $17.6 million in sales with a much smaller agent count. Again, 152.6% increase in volume. That's huge. Okay, but here's where the other side gets to me. Again, I don't care. There's a lot of agents that have been posting all their numbers for last year, and they're talking about they did more money in volume this year. Fantastic, but so did everybody else that was active last year. What I want to know is the deal count. How many more deals did you do versus volume? Because that shows me how much better you got in your marketing skills, your negotiating skills, your closing skills, all that stuff. We, in the Tampa office, did 240.5 deals, of 105% increase from the year prior. We did 55.5 deals in the Pinellas County office, which was a 73% growth. That's the magic number. That is what factors into how your brokerage is growing, not the actual volume. Because again, as markets go up, so does your sales volume, because naturally the prices go up. The difference is the deal flow. We did an increase of 105% and 73% year over year, and that's what I'm most proud of as a owner of this brokerage. So I want to go into some of the questions I do have to answer, and then I will check to see if we have any questions going on right now. The first one I got asked, and this is actually something that gets asked quite a bit, Greg, why don't you have a coaching program or a mentorship program for people who want to start wholesaling or flipping or anything like that? And the simple answer is this. I have to go back to why I don't have it, or I guess what led me to not have one. And that goes to actually a mentor of mine. He works for a partnership of ours at his capital funding out of Orlando. His name is Sam Alley. So big shout out to Sam. Has definitely been a great mentor of mine and confidant for the last several years. And he asked me, Greg, what's the overarching goal of all of what we're trying to do here? Is it having a coaching program? Is it being a guru? Is it growing the brokerage? Is it being just a fix and flipper? What's the main goal? And it all comes down to this thing on my sleeve, the brand, the Out Fast Realty and Investments brand. And my purpose and mission, as well as Jeremy Cloders, our broker and my partner in this business, is that it is to change the lives of real estate agents. That's the whole premise of what we're trying to do here. And so I don't want to give up my proprietary information, my coaching, my mentoring to someone who is not part of the brand, part of the tribe. And so I don't have a coaching program for the general public. I have a course that I sell, but it does not include any coaching or mentorship. It is simply just the basics of wholesaling. All of the proprietary stuff that I do is all in our Out Fast University. The mentorship is reserved for my agents who ask for it, who show me that they want it. They provide value to me, and they bring it back full circle to the rest of the company and growing the company, growing the culture, expanding the culture, I should say. And that's why I don't have a coaching program for the masses and the general public. I could make a shit ton more money by offering a mentorship program or some sort of mastermind thing that people do. That is not my mission. That is not my goal. It's not my overarching reason that I do what I do. I do it for my people who work for this company and who want to become financially free through the vehicle of real estate investing. And I believe there's no place to do it as a real estate agent than right here at Out Fast Realty Investments. So that's why I don't have a mentorship program and coaching program for the masses. And I want that to be very clear that I will never, ever have a mentorship and coaching program as long as I'm the CEO of Out Fast in any capacity. It just won't be a thing. I have planned out building out a mentorship program for my agents on a more scheduled basis. I talked about that with them at the end of the year last year in my end of year video that I sent to them. And so that's just how I operate, guys. And so if I get DMs, I swear to God, at least once or twice a week, sometimes more. Hey, I'm looking to get started in this. Do you offer any mentoring? Hey, can I take you to coffee and pick your brain? I want to get started in this. And the answer is, if you don't have a real estate license and you're not willing to come work for me, the answer is no. So you can stop asking. And so, again, guys, ask your questions that you guys have here. Happy New Year, Harrison. Thank you very much. We were just talking about that. With that being said, we do have some pretty massive growth plans for this year. More details will follow. If you'd like to, actually, I forgot to mention this to start. We are celebrating our 5-year anniversary this month at Out Fast Realty. We have made the milestone of 5 years here at the brokerage. And obviously, I've been doing real estate for a lot longer than that. So has Jeremy. But we are celebrating the 5-year anniversary here on January 26th from 6 to 8. If you are watching this, you are welcome to join us here at our office on that date and time. And we will be having our award ceremony. So of all the numbers I discussed earlier, we will be doing our award ceremony for our top 3 agents. I think that's Andrea because I recognize that. Hi, Andrea. If you have a question, let me know. We will be having that award ceremony for all of our top producing agents for 2021. We will be giving them a really cool. Every single one of our agents will be getting something very, very cool that no other brokerage in town does at that meeting. Or at that party. So, looking forward to that. Really excited about that. You guys don't even know what's coming yet, and I freaking love that no one knows that what we got planned for them that night. So. That being said, I don't see any live stuff coming through, which is all good. But next week, guys, remember, you got to always email me at closerscorner@outfastrealty.com. Any questions you have along the way, you guys can be prepared to jump onto us live every Friday at 10 o'clock right here on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever else I'm streaming this. And you guys can ask any and all questions there. Let me make sure there's not any in the group that I stream this to. Nope, doesn't look like it. We're good. And don't forget, we have a different version of this podcast that drops every Monday morning where I interview my top producing agents here at Out Fast Realty Investments and talk about all the crazy things that they go through to get deals to the closing table to make sure that they earn their 3% or 2.5% commission that they're paid for by the buyers and sellers of this crazy real estate market. And so let me see here. It's still time for the Clown of the Week. Hopefully this works again. Hopefully you guys can hear this. So, the Clown of the Week. I will have to pull this up here for you guys. This is a crazy story. Oh, man. Hilarious, actually, at the same time. Let's see. A second, guys. Here it is. The Clown of the Week goes to Michael Flavin of Quincy, Massachusetts. He pocketed nearly $2 million in marketing of houses that weren't actually for sale. Listen to this, guys. He basically pocketed around $2 million and pled guilty to 2 counts of aggravated wire fraud and 2 counts of aggravated identity theft. What this guy was doing, because the market is crazy, and started thinking back in 2019 this all started. Basically what he did is he would market houses for sale that weren't actually for sale. He would take deposits from the potential buyers, and he would draw up fake purchase and sale contracts from the seller, forge people's signatures on both sides. He would pocket the escrow money and just pretend like the deal was going through, and then at the very end, the deal fell apart and that he was able to the sellers got their escrow money because the deal fell apart, and basically he amassed almost $2 million in fraudulent money. The dude is spending, I forget if he got sentenced or not. He did over 60 times, 60 deposit checks from potential buyers, and $1.8 million in gains. He hasn't been sentenced yet, but he faces up to 20 years in prison and a fine of $250,000 for each charge of wire fraud. Now, supposedly he's made whole all these people, supposedly, but he's still going to go to jail for a very long time. So this is why I wanted to bring this up to you guys, is that it's super important when you're hiring a real estate agent that you know some of the process as well. Don't just take every real estate agent's word for it. Escrow money, ladies and gentlemen, always goes directly to the title company. You should never, ever, ever, or an attorney, never, ever, ever is handed to your real estate agent. All right, so that's this week's Clown of the Week. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's podcast. I will see you guys next week, same time, same place. Out.
Back. Hands up.